some of the mafia's most notorious leaders behind bars. He's also one of the few FBI agents ever charged with murder.
All right, I want to speak about Greg Scarpa. Now, Greg Scarpa was an FBI informant from 1961 until 1991. In 1980, his first FBI handler stopped. So in 1980, he stopped being an informant for about 6 months. Then Lynn DeVecchio, he actually discovered the fact that Greg Scarpa used to be an informant. So he went to his house, introduced himself, and said, hey, I know that you was working with the other agent for all these years. If you're ever interested in coming back, we got the money for you. Greg Scarpa calls him back later on that day. Bam. So in 1980, he starts informant again until 91 when he died of AIDS. He got a blood transfusion in the late 80s. It was tainted with AIDS, so he sued the hospital for millions of dollars. But he was informing from 1961 to 1980. He stopped for 6 months because he thought he was finished informing. And later on in 1980, DeVecchio gets him back on the FBI, gets him back informing until 91 when he died. And he was actually informing in the late 50s. That case of those Jewish civil rights workers and the black guy who was found deceased, the KKK killed him in Georgia, he actually was sent there by the FBI to figure out where those bodies were. And he allegedly killed a lot of Ku Klux Klan members. So that's how he got his relationship with the FBI. They sent him to Georgia to find out where those two Jewish lawyers, those white guys, and that black guy that died. They went down to Georgia for civil rights issues, and they were killed by the KKK. And Greg Scarpa went down there, figured out what was going on, apparently he killed some of the... He got info by any means necessary, because the FBI gave him a pass to be violent. Now, he had been informing for 40 years, 30 years. So, of course, over the years, people assumed he's a rat, because he would talk to people about crimes. He was the only one who knew, and the next day that person would get arrested. So of course people seen the red flags. But whenever somebody approached Greg Scarpa and said, hey, Greg Scarpa, you're a rat, he would shoot them in the head right there. Don't matter if they're in a grocery store, a restaurant, coffee shop, he's going to kill you if you call him a rat. But he really is a rat. And I was at a McDonald's the other day with this guy, and I deal with a lot of street guys and stuff like that for my job. And somebody in front of us in the drive-thru, the guy who was in the car with me said, oh, that dude's a rat. And I'm like, I know who that guy is. That's such and such. He's actually known as a shooter, a killer. He's at McDonald's right now, and he's not hiding because he's not scared. Because you're not going to call him a rat to his face, because this dude will kill you. So I see that a lot in society. You'll see somebody, and then somebody might say, oh, that dude's a rat. But they're not saying that to that person's face because they know better. That guy will kill you. Peace.